Brothers and sisters of Africa, come closer. Lean in. Listen carefully. Do you hear it? No, it is not the music of drums. No, it is not the laughter of children. It is something heavier. It is the echo of footsteps running in fear. It is the cries of mothers tearing through the night. It is the silence of the fallen. Kenya is burning, but not with fire. No, it burns with pain. It burns with hunger. It burns with the desperate voices of a generation that refuses to kneel. Why do they march? Why do they rise again and again, even when death waits at every corner? Why do young men, young women, even children face guns, face tear gas, face the cruelty of power? Because silence has become heavier than chains. Because hunger has become deeper than fear. Because the people of Kenya are suffocating under a system that has stolen their tomorrow. For months, the streets of Nairobi have thundered with protest. The people stood against impossible taxes, against corruption that eats like fire, against leaders who fill their pockets while their people starve. And these protesters, did they carry weapons? No, they carried hope. Did they seek war? No, they sought dignity. They sought the simple right to live with respect. But hope, my friends, has been paid for in blood. More than 100 lives lost, not soldiers, not criminals, but ordinary men and women. A 12-year-old girl, gone before her childhood could even bloom. A blogger arrested for speaking the truth only to return lifeless from custody. Young boys, fathers, mothers, struck down because they dared to whisper, "We deserve better." And who gave the order? Who painted the streets red with blood? President William Ruto. He commanded the police, shoot them, break them, crush them. And they obeyed. Legs shattered, voices silenced, lives stolen. This is not leadership. This is tyranny in its purest form. But listen to me, brothers and sisters. Here is the truth the tyrant will never understand. You can kill a man, but you cannot kill an idea. You can silence one voice, but you cannot silence a generation. You can flood the streets with blood, but you cannot drown the dream of freedom. The youth of Kenya are no longer afraid. They have tasted their own power, and now they know the future belongs to them. And when the youth of Africa rise, even the strongest thrones begin to tremble. But this, my friends, this is bigger than Kenya. This is larger than one nation. This is about Africa itself, about our soul, our dignity, our unity. For if Kenya bleeds and Africa remains silent, then what is the worth of our unity? If our brothers and sisters cry for justice and the African Union looks away, then what is the worth of our future? This moment is not just Kenya's test, it is Africa's test. The youth of Kenya are calling. Their cries are carried by the wind. Do you hear them? They echo in Lagos. They echo in Accra. They echo in Johannesburg. They echo in every African heart that still beats with hope. The question is, Will we answer? Or will we let silence become our shame? Because remember this, tyrants fall, but the courage of the people lives forever. And Kenya's courage today is Africa's light tomorrow. The night in Kenya is heavy with grief. The streets are stained with blood. Mothers cry for their children, fathers bury their sons, and still the youth rise. But what of Africa? What of the nations who share the same pain, the same history of chains, the same struggle for dignity? Will they turn away, or will they rise together? The African Union was born from a dream, not a small dream, but a great dream. A dream of unity, a dream of dignity, a dream that no African would ever stand alone. That when one nation cried, all nations would answer. That when one people suffered, all people would rise. That Africa would be one family, one voice, one heartbeat. And yet, where is the AU now? In Addis Ababa, leaders sit in grand halls, sipping tea beneath golden ceilings, speaking of unity, while in Nairobi, children bleed on the streets. In their silence, betrayal grows. In their hesitation, tyranny breathes longer. What is the value of unity if in the hour of greatest need, silence becomes the loudest answer? But the question cannot be avoided forever. The cries of Kenya grow louder. They cross rivers, they cross deserts, they cross mountains, and they thunder in every corner of Africa. And they demand an answer. Will the African Union remain only a union of words, a union of speeches, a union of signatures on paper? Or will it finally become a shield of action, a shield that protects, a shield that defends, a shield that says the life of one African child is sacred to us all? For the truth is this: the future of Africa does not sit in the hands of presidents alone. No, it burns in the hearts of the youth. It beats in the courage of students, of workers, of dreamers. It is carved into the voices that refuse to kneel. Kenya's young generation has become a mirror for all of Africa. They show us what courage looks like. They show us that freedom is never given, it is taken. They show us that no matter how heavy the chains, the human spirit is heavier still. And now this courage spreads. From Nairobi to Lagos, from Kinshasa to Johannesburg, from Accra to Bamako. The spark has been lit, and sparks, when they join together, become a fire. Imagine, my friends, an Africa where no leader can raise his gun against his own people without the continent rising in one voice. An Africa where the blood of one child is felt as the wound of all. An Africa where the AU is not a council of silence, but a shield of justice. This is the Africa that must be born. This is the Africa that Kenya cries out for. This is the Africa our children deserve. The tyrant believes his guns make him powerful. But guns do not build nations. Fear does not build hope. And silence does not build freedom. True power does not come from fear. True power comes from unity. True power comes from people standing together and saying, enough. And when the people unite, no throne can stand against them. No chain can hold them. No tyrant can silence them. So let the message of Kenya ring. We are not weak. We are not voiceless. We are the children of Africa, and we will rise. The struggle of Kenya is not only Kenya's struggle, it is Africa's struggle. It is your struggle. It is my struggle. Because if one African child falls, all of Africa stumbles. But if one African child rises, all of Africa stands taller. And so the story continues in every protest, in every chant, in every heartbeat that says, "We will not kneel, we will not be silent, we will be free." This is the voice of Kenya. This is the voice of Africa. And this voice will never, ever be silenced.